All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What's up, guys? Hebrewcheetah here. Going to be talking about this 7-game slate for the Saturday, November 4th. It looks like a pretty good slate. I'm excited to break this one down. Some pretty good games, some exciting ones for DFS to talk about. So let's get right into it. Starting off with the Charlotte Hornets at Indiana Pacers, looking at a 127-ish over-under. This is going to be a really fun one for DFS. Pacers are third in the league right now in terms of pace. Both are kind of middle to bottom of the league in defensive rating. So I think we're going to see some pretty good fantasy scores out of this one. Starting with the Hornets side, LaMelo Ball still on his minutes restriction. Hasn't seen more than 33 minutes in a game this year. Matchup is really good versus the Pacers. I think he has enough upside to pay off this tag. Maybe he gets into a triple-double type of game. So I like him at 9,100. For looking at Terry Rozier at 7K, pretty good if you're not looking to pay 9,100 for LaMelo. He's going to play upper 30s minutes, getting up a ton of shots. Had a couple games in the 40s this year already, so he looks fine at 7K. Not really sure what to do with Gordon Hayward, PJ Washington. They're seem a little bit overpriced for the upside that they have right now. Gordon Hayward's had some pretty good games this year, but his minutes have kind of been fluctuating, so I'm not super excited about him. Kind of interested in Brandon Miller. He got up to 36 minutes against Brooklyn, only 24 minutes last game against Houston, but he put up almost 40 points against Brooklyn, so we know he has that upside. If he's getting the minutes, maybe sooner than later he'll start eating into Gordon Hayward's minutes a little bit. So I don't mind him, but Mark Williams is okay. He's splitting center minutes with Nick Richards, so I don't think there's a ton of upside for him at almost 6K. So yeah, mainly just LaMelo and then Terry and then Brandon Miller for Charlotte. On the Indy side, Tyrese Halliburton been really, really solid this year. We have a very strong projection for him right now. He's only 9,200. Matchup is really good. We know the team's going to play super fast. That bodes well for Halliburton. He's been I think he's had a double-double in every game this year, been around 45 to 53 DraftKings points, so he's really solid. I like him a lot tomorrow. Miles Turner been also really good this year. He's only 6,700. Good matchup versus the Hornets. It's a matchup we've been attacking with centers for a long time. I don't think that's going to change here. Miles Turner's been really good this year. He's had a couple 40-point games already. So I like him. And then outside of those two, it's just going to be a max one situation for everybody else. Don't love Buddy Hield at 63. Bruce Brown, Bennett Mathurin, they're okay, 54 and 52. Yeah, pretty much max one outside of everybody that's not Tyrese Halliburton or Miles Turner. But yeah, I really like this game. Probably have some pieces in this one to start the night off. Let's move over to the Lakers versus the Magic. Lakers going to be traveling to Orlando for this game. We just saw these teams play a couple nights ago. Nobody really put up meaningful DraftKings scores outside of Anthony Davis and Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz is going to be questionable in this one. He missed last game. Saw Cole Anthony step up big time. He got 31 minutes, put up 40 DraftKings points. That was against the Jazz, so take that with a grain of salt. Jazz are terrible defensively. If Markelle misses this game again, though, I like both Suggs and Cole Anthony. Probably prefer Suggs just because he's going to be starting. I think his minutes are a little bit more secure. Should have he only got 21 minutes last game. Maybe it's just they're riding the hot hand, but Suggs is pretty good fantasy scorer, so I like him a little bit. Should have a matchup against D'Angelo Russell, which is a positive one. I'm not really too into Paulo, Franz, or Wendell Carter. I more so want to attack the Lakers with guards. It's mainly just keeping Cole Anthony, Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs in my pool, and then if Markelle Fultz give a pretty big boost to Anthony and Jalen Suggs, but I would just max one of them probably. And then for the Lakers, just going to be Anthony Davis. I don't see LeBron James getting 30. He got 42 minutes against the Clippers. I don't see him getting upper 30s in a game against the Eastern Conference team going cross country. I don't think LeBron's gonna touch that high of a minutes in this type of matchup. So I'm off of him. D'Angelo Russell, always a fine option at 6,400. Austin Reeves got a pretty big minutes boost with Gabe Vincent missing, so I think he's kind of intriguing at 5,700. Got 38 minutes last game, so I don't mind him. Don't think I want to go to Christian Wood, 5,200, only center eligible. I would like it better if he was power forward eligible, but we got to keep an eye on this because Taurean Prince is questionable. Could free up minutes for Cam Reddish again, who did pretty well last game versus the Clippers. Got 37 minutes, 27 DraftKings points. I wouldn't mind him at 4K if value is looking a little bit stale in this Saturday slate. It's mainly it though for this game. Not super interested. Let's move over to Atlanta versus New Orleans. Looking at a 231-ish over under. Yeah, I'm pretty interested in Trae Young here at 9K. Haven't seen the super big ceiling game from him yet, but he's been pretty solid. Got no less than 39 DraftKings points this year. Actually had a 37 in opening night, but minutes are pretty solid. I'm just kind of like betting on him having a big ceiling game like we know he can have, but I'm not sure if the usage is as much there with DeJounte Murray there. I said this earlier in the year, but Quinn Snyder is the way that he coaches kind of fits DeJounte Murray's play style a little bit, so I think that they're more so kind of leaning on him a little bit. I mean, DeJounte he took 24 field goals against Minnesota 2 nights ago, 15 in the blowout win against the Wizards. Got 61 DraftKings points, 41 real points, 24 points. So I think I prefer DeJounte just for the 1,300 price difference. Allow you to get up somewhere else in your lineup. And I mean, they have similar upside. If anything, DeJounte might have a little bit more upside. But yeah, I do like Trae. I would definitely be max one, Trae Young, DeJounte Murray. 5,800 feels a little bit expensive for Clint Capella when he's splitting minutes with Onyeka Okongwu this year. I mean, they're pretty much splitting them 50-50, and I would much rather just take the $900 savings on Okongwu, who's been a better fantasy per minute producer this year. Had 35 last game. It was a blowout against Washington, so I don't want to weigh that too much, but I mean, he's a really solid player, so I think I like him a little bit better than Clint Capella. Jalen Johnson's price got a little bit too up there for me. He's not even starting anymore, so maybe he gets back in the starting lineup here for a matchup versus Zion, but it's a little bit too risky at 5,600 when he's not seeing guaranteed 30+ minutes. So I don't really like him that much. I would probably just be max one of Jalen Johnson, DeAndre Hunter, and Sadiq Bey. I think I like Bey the most just for the price. He's only 4,500, can get hot from three. He's been pretty solid this year too, 28, 23, and 25 DraftKings points the last 3 games, so I probably like him the best. But yeah, mainly it's going to be DeJounte for me on the Atlanta side, and then for New Orleans, we got to see the injury status on Brandon Ingram. He's missed the last 3 games with a knee injury. I'm not sure how serious that is, but I mean, he kind of popped up last minute when he missed his first game. So, maybe it actually is bothering him. He might miss a decent amount of time, but we'll definitely have to keep up with this news. It's a 4 p.m. game, so we'll get it. We'll get that news. We'll get the news first. But yeah, if he misses again, I definitely like CJ McCollum. I mean, he's been awesome, been taking over the offense for them. I said 55 and 45 DraftKings points the last 2 games. Matchup should be solid versus Trae Young. Might be a little bit tougher versus DeJounte, but it's fine. He's going to have all the usage in the world, so he'll be fine. He could definitely pay off this price tag. Definitely prefer CJ McCollum more if Brandon Ingram is out, but definitely like this matchup and price tag for Zion, 8,900. Sat out last game, just resting, but his minutes are starting to creep up a little bit. Got 33 last game. almost got to a triple-double, had 20 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists. So he's, 2 assists away from having a really, really solid game. But at 8,900, I think there's a lot of upside for him. So I like Zion. Jonas Valanciunas got a really aggressive price increase, 6,900. I don't think that you can play that when Zion's healthy. So I would be off of him. Same thing for Herb Jones, 5,800, a little too pricey for me. Pretty much everybody outside of the top 3 guys are out of. I don't play anybody else outside of Zion, Ingram, and CJ. Might change a little bit if Ingram's out again. I mean, Jordan Hawkins been starting for him. Had a really bad shooting night 2 nights in a row, but anytime somebody's taking almost 20 shots a game, 13 threes, I think that you got to consider them. At only 4,900, he could pay off that tag if he gets hot. So I would keep him in consideration if Brandon Ingram misses. But we'll get that news later in the day. That's going to do it for that game. Boston versus Brooklyn. It's a 9-point spread favoring Boston here, so it looks like it might be a little bit of a blowout situation. And if that's the case, I don't really have much interest in anybody on Brooklyn. All the prices are kind of leveling out right now. Mikal Bridges, 7,900s. Price is about right. 72 for Cam Thomas, a little too much. 7,100 for Ben Simmons. Same. Dinwiddie's probably has the best price tag out of all these guys, but matchup is not that good. So I'm pretty much off of the Nets entirely, and then on Boston, it's mainly just Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum for me. I think I slightly prefer Tatum. He's got a little bit more upside. But don't love it here. If you want to play into the blowout situation, I would definitely consider Peyton Pritchard. He got 35 DraftKings points last game in a huge blowout versus Indiana. Got 26 minutes, but he's seen 25 minutes the games before too. So I wouldn't mind Pritchard, but mainly just in a blowout type situation. I don't love it, but this game is mainly just a cross-off for me. Let's move over to Utah versus Minnesota. Give me 1 second. Utah, the Jazz are one of the worst teams defensively this year. Been trying to hammer that point home. It seems like every team that plays them, somebody produces a ceiling performance. We saw last game, Cole Anthony and Paolo Banchero had really good games. I was luckily able to squeeze Paolo into a couple of my lineups. He had 55, 56 DraftKings points, whatever it was. I think we could definitely see a similar type performance from one of these main 3 guys for the T-Wolves. Starting with Anthony Edwards, he's a little bit more scoring dependent for me. I don't love playing guys that just kind of rely on scoring. He did get 14 rebounds in one game. He's been getting 7 assists in a couple of games, but the numbers fluctuate a little bit too much for me. I don't know if I want to gamble on the game of him getting 30 and 10 in one of the other categories. So I think I'm a little bit under on Anthony Edwards, more so in on Karl Anthony Towns. He's had a double-double in every game this year except for the game versus Denver, but he put up 41 DraftKings points in that game, scoring 21 real-life points. I think I like the matchup for him the best, and I like the floor for him the best also. So I think Cat would probably be my preference in this one. I don't mind Rudy Gobert, 6,600. Walker Kessler's not going to take him too far away from the rim, so you could see him rack up a ton of rebounds and maybe come away with a few blocks. You got the revenge narrative if you want to play into that, but I don't really weigh that too much. But Rudy Gobert, fine at 6,600. I think he's got a little bit of upside too. And then if you want to keep in some of the secondary guys, don't mind Naz Reid. I don't mind Jaden McDaniels at 4,400. Both of them should see minutes in the 20s. Naz probably has a little bit more upside if this game plays into a blowout. I mean, really just more upside in general. I mean, we've seen him go for 40 already once this year. And then he went for 25 last game in 19 minutes. I mean, if he sees the upper 20s minutes, he's definitely got 40-point upside. So I would keep him in my player pool. And then on the Jazz side, if you're playing multiple T-Wolves, I would definitely want to boost up Lauri because in every game that's been close this year, minus the Orlando one, he's put up 57 DraftKings points. So I think if this game is competitive, it's probably because Lauri's having a good game. So I don't love him as just like a one-off play. I would more so like him in correlated pieces with this game, but that's kind of how I would play that. If I'm just picking one guy in the Jazz I like the most, it would definitely be Jordan Clarkson at 6,100. He's put up 39 and 37 in back-to-back games, and last game got up to 37 minutes. Didn't shoot the ball well, but got 6 assists, 6 rebounds. He's been kind of hovering around those numbers all year too. So yeah, I like Jordan Clarkson the best probably, and I wouldn't mind Walker Kessler. He plays. It seems like his minute ceiling is a little bit higher against traditional centers. He got up to 29 versus Jokic, got up to 25 against Orlando. But I just don't know if he's a little bit too risky for me. I just can't pay $6K for him. I would much rather play John Collins at 5,900, who's been very solid this year. He's averaging around 32 minutes a game and gotten multiple double-doubles. I don't think that he has huge 40-point upside, but I think 35, 36 would be good enough at his price tag and on this slate. So I think I would rank him second. Don't really like THT, not playing Kelly Olynyk at 4,900. That's basically it for me. It's going to be Clarkson and Collins mainly, and then Laurie in a close game situation. All right, let's move over to the Sacramento and Houston game. As of right now, we got some really, really good projections on all of these guys. I think this might end up coming down a little bit throughout the day. Houston's playing really, really slow in pace, and the Kings are not the same without De'Aaron Fox. They're going to play way, way slower with Sabonis running the offense through him. So I think that these projections might come down a little bit throughout the day. But, I always like Sabonis at 10-2 on a slate where there's not a ton of pay-up options. Obviously, there's Jokic, Anthony Davis, Tatum, but it's not the greatest. I don't mind taking the floor with Sabonis. He's going to get you 45 to 50. He's got upside to get close to 60 if things go well for him. He's been, he gets an assist rate boost with no De'Aaron Fox. He got 8 last game. So I mean, if you can get to that triple double mark, I think he's got a lot of upside. So I don't mind him. I would not want to pair him with Sengun. I would probably max one of them. I just don't think that they both can hit their ceilings together, so I would probably max one them. Keegan Murray at 6,500 seems a little bit expensive for him, but he's going to take on a way bigger offensive load. He hasn't been shooting the ball well. He's taking a bunch of 3-pointers, just not knocking them down. So I don't know if I can get there for him. If he can get high in this matchup, though, I think he does have 40-point upside. He went 0 for 7 last game, 3 for 9 game before, 3 for 11. So he's just not hitting his shots, but it is encouraging to see him taking that many. I don't like Harrison Barnes at 5'9". Malik Monk at 5,700 definitely is intriguing to me. Only got 25 minutes last game, but he's got a ton of scoring upside, so I definitely like keeping him in my player pool. Kevin Huerter has been somebody that gets a huge boost when De'Aaron Fox misses, and he had a pretty good game last time, got up to 28 DraftKings points, only on 4 for 11 shooting, 11 real points. So I think he's got a lot more upside at 5,100 than some of these other guys. Definitely don't want to play Davion Mitchell. I think he hit his ceiling last game. He's not going to do that on a consistent basis, I don't think. And I don't want to get into the Duartes or Colby Jones. Mainly it's going to be Sabonis and Huerter for me for the Kings. And then on Houston, I think 8,200 is way too pricey for me for Sengun right now against Sabonis. Sabonis is really good at drawing fouls. So I think there's a little bit of downside to Sengun's minutes here. His price just keeps raising. He's great. I think he's an awesome real life player, but I don't think at 8,200 he can pay off that tag. It's a little too expensive for me. Fred VanVleet's okay at 7,500. Don't love it. Jalen Green, I prefer him. Prefer the 1,200 savings from Fred VanVleet to him. I think I like Jabari Smith the most out of anybody on Houston. 5,700, been really solid this year. I don't think he has a huge upside case, but I think you would take 34 or 36 from him on this type of slate. Never really like playing Dylan Brooks, and then nobody under 5K on the Houston side for me. Okay, let's move over to the last game of the night. Chicago taking on Denver in Denver. This is going to be a back-to-back game for both of these teams, and just like our guy Boomer says, you never really want to play teams on a back-to-back going into Denver. So I think I'm going to probably be off of both these teams. Pretty big blowout risk here. Denver favored by 10. Chicago's been playing very poorly lately. I just don't think that you can confidently play any of these three guys between Vucevic, LaVine, DeRozan. I'm always going to be max one of them. I think Kobe White is probably the only guy I'm going to be keeping in my player pool for the Denver side as of right now. I think that just at 5,400, he's got some scoring upside. Don't really love anything in this game much. I would not be surprised to see one of Jokic or Murray sit this game out. Just they were both probable on Friday night, and there's a chance the game against the Bulls is a good time for them to take the night off. So we definitely hopefully get news earlier in the day that they're going to be sitting. But yeah, I'm more so under on this game as a whole. I think it's got a really good chance to blow out, so I don't really want to invest too much into it. I mean, if you're playing the blowout angle, I think Peyton Watson can make your pool. Julian Strawther. On the Bulls, it'd probably be Andre Drummond, Javon Carter. Yeah, I just don't have a hard time pinpointing any really good plays in this game, so I'll probably just take an underweight stance on it. But yeah, that's going to do it. Good luck, everybody. I'll definitely be in Discord all day answering questions. I'll have my slate plan up at some point late tonight or early tomorrow morning. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck, everybody.